rising wages, rising take-home pay, an economy that worked for normal Americans, a secure southern border, a lot of things, frankly, that I didn't think he'd be able to deliver on. And yeah, when you screw up, when you misspeak.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the president.
Have you ever seen a politician completely lose it when caught in a lie? J.D. Vance just had a meltdown that would make even grumpy Trumpy proud, screaming at a host who simply asked him about Trump's military comments. In this video, we're breaking down exactly how Vance went from smooth-talking politician to red-faced rage machine in seconds flat. It's like watching someone step on a rake and hit themselves in the face. Painful, embarrassing, but impossible to look away from. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. So, what happens when a politician who's been practicing his calm, collected face in the mirror every morning suddenly has an absolute meltdown on live TV? J.D. Vance just gave us a masterclass in political facade crumbling, and let me tell you, it was spectacular in the worst possible way. Picture this. There's Vance, sitting in the studio, probably thinking this interview would be another softball opportunity to spew some talking points. Then the host drops a simple question about Trump's comments on using the military against American citizens. Not exactly a gotcha question. Just basic accountability journalism.
Can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
They have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
But for Vance, it might as well have been asking him to explain quantum physics while juggling flaming chainsaws. At first, he tried his usual approach. That smooth-talking, pseudo-intellectual routine he's perfected since his hillbilly elegy days. But you could literally see the moment his brain recognized he was trapped in a corner with those pesky things called facts. His eyes did that little darting thing that politicians do when their internal alarm system starts blaring, "Danger! Truth approaching!" The transformation was something to behold. Like watching a chameleon change colors, except instead of blending in, Vance went from wannabe statesman to human tomato. His face flushed so red you could practically feel the heat radiating through the screen. It was the facial equivalent of sitting on a thumbtack during a job interview. That split second of "oh no," followed by complete inability to maintain composure. What made this whole train wreck even more fascinating was watching the classic Trump defense mechanism activate in real time.
I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback.
The Republican Congress and the Democrats in Congress had been a little bit better about how they govern the country. They were so obsessed with impeaching Donald Trump, they couldn't actually govern.
When backed into a corner with facts, the playbook is simple. 1. Yell fake news as loud as possible. 2. Attack the person asking the question. And 3. Hope your audience is too distracted by the spectacle to notice you never actually answered anything. Vance followed these steps with the precision of someone who's been taking detailed notes at the Trump School of Media Deflection. But here's where things get genuinely hilarious. Throughout Vance's entire meltdown, the host maintained complete and utter composure. Just sitting there, blinking occasionally, waiting for Hurricane Vance to blow itself out. The contrast couldn't have been more stark or more damaging to Vance. Nothing makes someone look more unhinged than losing their mind while the other person remains perfectly calm. It's like watching someone have a screaming match with a houseplant. The body language was what really told the story, though. The finger jabbing at the air like he was trying to poke invisible ghosts. His voice climbing octaves until it cracked like a middle schooler asking someone to the dance. And then there was that desperate looking around, that universal human gesture of Surely someone will come save me from this nightmare I've created.
Well, first of all, Margaret, because I've always been open. And sometimes, of course, I've disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald Trump.
I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
Spoiler alert, nobody came to the rescue. As the meltdown reached its crescendo, Vance was literally screaming about dishonest fabrications, while simultaneously constructing his own alternative reality right before our eyes. The irony was thicker than Trump's makeup. Here he was, fabricating his own version of events, while accusing others of fabrication. It was like watching a guy complain about arsonists, while actively setting his own pants on fire. When the dust settled and the screaming subsided, what were we left with? The unmistakable image of yet another Trump puppet whose strings got tangled. All it took was one straightforward question to reveal that beneath the carefully constructed veneer of Yale-educated thoughtfulness lies just another MAGA mouthpiece ready to explode when confronted with inconvenient truths. This whole embarrassing episode isn't just entertaining political theater.
Not just that the Republican Party base is somehow fundamentally flawed in a way that's unique in American political history, it's that Trump is a really bad candidate and, frankly, I think a really bad person.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people.
It's deeply revealing about what happens when politicians build entire careers on lies instead of actual principles. The foundation is so fragile that a gentle breeze of factual questioning can topple the whole structure. And when that happens, they don't have substantive answers to fall back on, just finger-pointing and screaming. Watching someone who positions himself as a serious intellectual devolve into screaming fake news, when presented with straightforward questions, should give voters serious pause. If this is how Vance handles himself in a controlled interview setting, imagine his response to an actual crisis requiring level-headed leadership. The mind reels at the possibilities, none of them good. So there you have it, folks. The leadership playbook for wannabe strongmen. J.D. Vance isn't just copying Trump's policies, he's copied his entire emotional meltdown routine too. What's really telling isn't just that he screamed at the host, it's that he thinks this behavior somehow makes him look strong.
So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
I was wrong, first of all, because I believed some of the media stories that turned out to be dishonest fabrications of his record. But most importantly, Donald Trump delivered for the American people.
This temperament issue isn't just embarrassing, it's dangerous. If the mere mention of facts causes this much insecurity and rage, imagine this guy with actual power. When someone shows you, they substitute yelling for accountability. That's not strength. That's weakness in a fancy suit. Remember this episode next time you're voting.